Hello and welcome to Lantern Lane Stories. Tonight's story is Columbus and the Four Kings of Stone. The Cathedral of Sevilla is very, very old. Its walls are warm orange in the sun, cool gray in the shadows. A girl named Maria walks inside with her grandmother. The air smells like candles and old wood. Abuela, what is this? Maria points to the heavy stone coffin held high above the floor. Four carved stone kings stand on their broad shoulders, holding it up with their strong arms. The coffin doesn't touch the ground. It floats. Ah, mija, her grandmother says softly. This is the tomb of a very famous explorer. His name was Cristobal Colon. Maria's eyes grow wide. Why are the kings holding it? Because, says her grandmother, sitting on a bench, he made a promise, and we kept it. Even after he died, let me tell you the story. It was the year 1506. An old man lay in a small room in the city of Valladolid. His name was Cristobal Colon. His hair was white like winter snow. His hands were thin and spotted with age. He had sailed across the great ocean. He had seen lands no Spanish person had ever seen before. He had traveled so far, but now his journeys were over. His son Diego sat beside him. Diego held his father's hand. Padre, said Diego, are you comfortable? I am tired, my son, whispered Colon. His voice was like wind through dry leaves. The room was cool outside. Bells from the church rang slowly, 1, 2, 3 times. Colon closed his eyes. He whispered something very important. Promise me, Diego, after I die, my bones will never rest on Spanish soil, not touching, not resting, not staying. Diego squeezed his father's hand. I promise, Padre. That night, Cristobal Colon closed his eyes for the last time. 3 years passed. Diego wanted to honor his father's promise. He decided to move Colon's bones to a very special place, the monastery of La Cartuja in the city of Sevilla. Monks in long brown robes came to carry the heavy coffin. They wore sandals on their feet. They chanted prayers as they walked. It took many days to travel from Valladolid to Sevilla. When they arrived, church bells rang out across the city. Ding, ding, ding! The sound bounced off the white stone buildings. People came out of their houses. They lined the streets. They bowed their heads. The monks placed the coffin in the monastery high on a stone shelf. Candles flickered around it, casting dancing shadows on the walls. Here he will rest, the monks said. But the world was changing. War came to Europe. Kings made new plans, and Cristobal Colon's story was not finished yet. Diego grew older. He had a son too. That grandson was also called Diego. Father, said the younger Diego, in the New World, in the place called La Española, we built the first city the Spanish ever made in America. That is where Padre's adventure began. Should not his bones rest there? And so, one day, workers carefully loaded the heavy coffin onto a ship. The ship set sail. It rocked on the waves. Sailors worked day and night, pulling ropes, climbing masts, watching the horizon. The journey took weeks and weeks. Finally, they reached Santo Domingo on the island of La Española. The Cathedral of Santo Domingo welcomed the coffin. It was a grand building with tall columns and stone floors that echoed. Priests sang songs. People brought flowers. Here in the New World, where his journey began, Cristobal Colon finally comes home, they said. The coffin rested there for more than 200 years. But one day, everything changed. A king in Spain and a king in France signed a paper. It was called a treaty. It said that Spain could no longer keep La Española. France would have it now. We must move him again, the priest said sadly. So workers came to the cathedral once more. They wrapped the coffin in cloth. They carried it to another ship. This ship sailed to the island of Cuba to the city of La Habana. The journey was long, the ocean was rough, the wind blew hard against the sails. But the sailors were careful. They held the coffin safe. In La Habana, the cathedral received it. "You have traveled so far," the priests whispered. "Rest here now." For 100 years, Cristobal Colón's coffin lay in La Habana. Then came the year 1899. Cuba became free. It was no longer part of Spain. The people of Cuba wanted to be their own nation. But they remembered Colón. He belonged first to Spain, they said. Perhaps his bones should go home too. And so once again, the coffin was carefully lifted and placed on a ship. This ship sailed back across the great ocean. It sailed east, towards Spain, towards Sevilla. The voyage took many weeks. Sailors sang songs. They watched the stars at night to find their way. Then one morning, they could see land, brown and gold hills, the rooftops of Sevilla glowing in the sunrise. The ship sailed up the river. Bells began to ring, not slowly this time, but fast and joyful. Ding, 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 ding. People crowded the streets, they waved, they cheered. "He is home," they cried. The cathedral was waiting. Workers carried the coffin inside, very slowly and very carefully. And then something magical happened. 4 strong stone kings stood ready, Spanish kings carved from marble long, long ago. The workers placed the coffin on the shoulders of these 4 kings. The kings held it high, strong arms, strong shoulders. The coffin did not touch the ground. It floated in the air, held by the 4 kings. The promise was kept, not in Valladolid, not in Sevilla's monastery, not in Santo Domingo, not in La Habana. But here, in the great cathedral, on the shoulders of the 4 kings of Spain, Cristobal Colón's bones never touched Spanish soil. Cristobal Colón had spoken, and all of Spain listened across the years, across the oceans, across 200 years. Maria looked up at the stone coffin floating high above. She looked at the 4 kings, strong and silent. "He kept his promise," she whispered. Her grandmother smiled. "Yes, mija, he kept his promise." Outside, the sun was setting. The city of Sevilla grew quiet, and so Sevilla also slowly fell asleep. Good night.